the backyard today, around the pool area. I had to make this little platform to save my trailer because it would have smashed the plastic on both ends, but the frame's real strong. So I made this little box, and of course I got a video that goes with it. But I'm gonna have some guys help me roll this around back, probably 4 of us. These about almost 600 pounds each, but I didn't want a crane in here because it just makes a mess and tears up the driveway and everything else. So anyway, see you guys. All right, now that is unloaded. That's what those spaces are for, these forks. And that thing's just about centered up. There's a little extra weight on the front, and that's where we're gonna have the steers at. We're gonna have the pushers in the back. And I'll show you how I built this box.
I'm just an ordinary average guy. My friends all are boring, and so am I. We're just ordinary average guys. We all lead ordinary average lives with average kids and average wives. We all go bowling at the bowling lanes, drink a few beers, bowl a few frames. We're just ordinary average guys. Ordinary average And every Saturday we work in the yard, pick up the dog do, hope that it's hard. Take out the garbage and clean out the garage. My friend's got a Chrysler, I've got a Dodge. We're just ordinary average guys. Ordinary average guys. Ordinary average guys.
Is this the platform for my trailer? Keep from tearing my trailer up, and those holes right there where the forks are gonna go when we're picking up the beams. So I mitered these corners and I finished attaching all this fabric up here so I don't scratch up my beams. And in a little while we're gonna see if it works. I'm gonna go stick it in the truck, it's kind of heavy. folks, this is the jig I came up to control, make sure this thing doesn't roll the wrong direction, because all four wheels can turn, which makes it really difficult. So I made a jig. I had to cut these recesses in there for that locking mechanism on the wheel because it wouldn't all fit. But basically this whole thing is, the wood is all hooked together, and pretend that crown has a post in the center of it. Basically you'd put that jig around the post before lifting it. The post would have to be supported out here further off the concrete, so there's like 8 feet that hangs out here, so I'll block both ends so I can have access to each pole when we go to actually put this jig in place. Then this wood right here is the same width as the beam, but I couldn't obviously carry a beam out here, so pretend that's a beam. I think I'm going to put straps in here because I can't have that right where it needs to be. Fork truck wise, it should be as close to the mast as possible, except that's not going to have it out far enough to get it in the center of the column. So I'm going to have to put it out a little bit. I think I'm going to put some straps to the ends just to make sure the forks don't fail or have anything like that. So that should help that, and then it's going to slow things down a little bit but make things a little more safe. I'm going to set up these columns. Right now you can see that this one has blocking in here to make sure it's in the center. Well, that's probably going to fall out when I pick it up because look, it's too tall. The column needs to be below the red iron because I want the red iron actually supporting the metal. So I'm going to need to trim the bottom. I don't want to trim the top because it may change. There may be a big difference between, you might see the reveal at the top, so I'm going to trim the bottom and then you won't be able to see that. All right, folks, this is kind of what I'm going to use as my wedges that go in there. They're too long right now, but I've got a locating point on each end, so that'll make 2 blocks. I'm going to make all these now. Basically, again, I'm using a block to maintain my distance. I got 16 of these. They're all the same length long, so basically these things have to be short, 2 1/4 and 3 1/4. So what I'm going to do is set a block over here to where the 2 1/4 is over there, so I don't have to get close to the blade. I'll do all the 3 1/4 probably first off one end, and then I'll adjust it where I can get the 2 1/4 off the other end, and that way I'm not having to take out the width of the cut and all that stuff. So I'm gonna do. All right, folks, I have all my triangles now. I got 16 of each. Yeah, is that right? Yeah, 16 of each. Gonna go see how it works. All right, I got my columns all complete now. I've got to have these cat pieces on there before I put the metal up. I got them all square. They're all braced to be in the center. Only one I haven't got done yet is that one right there, because I'm going to run electric through it, I think. But I'm going to leave it to last to see if I can run electric and for speakers and LEDs and all that good stuff.
Break your mama's back.
All right, folks, we're all ready ready for the lift. I may do it tomorrow. I'm going to go get the lifts tomorrow. I went ahead and made another one of these jigs, so that's all good. It's going to stabilize the lift I have since it's manual. Here's all my marks. Again, I still have to work this post because I might put electric in it. All right, folks, we're ready to lift. I've got this rigged in here because I can't get on the base of the forks, so putting these straps in here to keep the forks from having too much pressure on the, the corner joint. So that should do that. And then I also got a blocking thing in the back to keep it from falling over if it gets wiggly up there. Everything else looks like it's ready to go. All right, folks, I got 3 of them up. It's about 2:30 and it's getting hot. This is my shop area. But they're all up there. They need to be pulled down a little bit, so I'm gonna have to figure that out, how to fix that properly. And then this last one, I'm gonna leave it because tomorrow I'm gonna go ahead and put that conduit in there for electric, so I can get it inside the beam, outside the red metal there, the red iron. Hello folks, this is going to be my last video of this part before we start doing all the welding. Okay, those beams out there, the short beams you can see behind the tree, will go in between here to where it'll look like this is all big one piece. And here on the end, I'm going to have my welder go ahead and make me some 3-foot pieces just like that to weld coming out this way, so it'll look uniform all the way around. Then later I'm going to build cap molding pieces that'll kind of make that look like that's actually pushed down, it'll go up higher, but it'll look like crown molding going around there, so it'll look real continuous, and I think it's going to look really nice and going to look finished. So basically, got to get my welder dude out here and then get him to cut these down. These are a little bit too long, and then go ahead and weld those in between those spans. And then I have a couple pieces in the back of the truck like this and the metal they put on the end and the pattern to match those others to make the 4 corner pieces, and then we'll go from there. So I'm gonna probably be off here less about this for a while, and back to autocrossing for a bit while nationals are coming up. And when that's over, I'm going to come back and move this garage way back there, and then on that same footprint I'm going to probably build a 30 by 60 shop so I can get my cars and stuff in there, and then this shop will go back there, and all my lawnmower stuff and anything that, you know, moves on its own will go back in the back shop, and this will must be car shop and tools. All right, see